when I came to you, right, and we're doing our meditation group, and um, it was a choice that I had to make because I felt like in all the healing I had done and in everything I had done to escape and heal and build safe in harm's way. And my gosh, even since we talked the last time about safe in harm's way, we now have a national campaign across the entire United States with the Out of Home Advertising Association of America. We're on billboards. I
Yeah.
mean, we are doing amazing things,
Yeah.
even in that short amount of time, right? But I knew inside in all that healing that I had done, and this is how I said it to you, I think there's like about 12 to 17% of healing I think I need to do, but it's also the final exam for my capstone course, and it's the heaviest weighted exam.
Yeah.
So if I don't get this 12 to 17% of healing left right, I'm going to flunk the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to flunk the whole damn thing. And so coming to you and saying to you, I'm not even sure what this last 12% is, 12 to 17%. I just feel it.
Yeah.
Um, and our goal was to start to identify and shatter patterns,
Yeah.
those patterns that need to stop in our life that we might not even be aware of are happening, right? But they're sabotaging everything. And I believe the quiet moments in meditation, when you pause long enough, you know what those patterns are,
Yeah.
and that's to your point of why it gets hard.
Yeah.
So if people can get quiet and still, they'll start to recognize where that is. And the great things about my work with you is, we started on this, and I would, tell all my girlfriends, I'm like, well, she's like my divine sex goddess coach, because some of it was around sex, that we wanted to discuss. And it also, like, I thought it was super cool,
I like that. I'll take it.
but yeah, I mean, because we had great conversations around that.
Okay.
And sexuality is so very, very important to me, right? So I wanted to have that nailed down. I mean, I wanted to be able to really step in and own my own sexuality. And but it seeped into everything, right? It seeped into securing a brand new job with a significant pay increase.
Yeah.
It stepped into this being able to pitch a national organization about safe and harm's way and them have us as a partner, that they gave us collateral for free. It stepped into people coming into my life saying, how can I help you with safe and harm's way? How can I help you? Because we do corporate coaching and training as well around the issues of domestic violence. Um, Please come work with us. It brought into my life like these really incredible men that are just fun.
Yeah.
So, these it's the tentacles of it are amazing.
Yeah.
It's like that fun ride at the amusement park that goes up and down and you're kind of spinning, but not enough to be scared, just enough to laugh for
Right.
3 minutes straight. That's what it's like. And
Yeah.
it seeped our work together just started to affect all the aspects of my life. Because if you think about it, when you're trusting your intuition, and you're stepping into who you are authentically, what you are, what you like, what you live, what you want out of passion, what you want out of relationships is yours. It is not for anybody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else may go, that's insane, like, you believe that?
Yeah.
That's okay. That's not for them. Everybody else has their own thing they can step into, whatever it is. You just have to discover it.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it comes out in everything. It comes out in finances. It comes out in making better health choices. It comes out in creating more fabulous sex. It comes out with creating relationships that just fuel you to higher and higher arenas. And that's why when you realize that the pattern that needed to be broken and you're so devastated because now you have the knowledge, now
Yeah. You can't unknow.
you can't unknow that going through that part of it to get to the other side, that's where the beauty is. Isn't it nice to give yourself that gift? The gift of, it might hurt. That's okay. I'm here to help you. If you hurt, if you've fallen and you hurt, it does hurt. Acknowledging that and not sweeping it under the rug is amazing. Um, because the other side of that is just the knowledge that you're okay, that you have healed, you have gotten up, you have moved forward. And the more you've stepped into yourself, the more that you've created a world that you are completely deserving of, and you have been all along.
Yeah.
I'm so full of gratitude for you, because when you there's always a fear when you enter into a coaching relationship or a therapy relationship. And I should say, this is my first coaching relationship.
Yeah.
I've had therapists, but this was the next level for me, right?
Yeah.
Is, oh my God, is she gonna call me on my shit?
Yep.
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 But the beautiful thing about you is you do it in such a kind way, and do it and what I've started to implement is what I see you do. You often, and I don't know if you do it and you've done it, it's just part of you, or you don't even realize you're doing it. You don't Very rarely do you say something, then say, but you say something and you say, and this, and so you use and rather than but.
Yeah.
And that
Oh, okay.
that the way you speak in that offers the reality that it can be both things.
Yeah.
Like, you can have this, and you can also have this,
Yeah.
and you can also maybe think about, do you realize what you just said, um and you do it in such a way that it's a realization, and it's not a put down, or it's, yeah. So, um, yeah, you're gonna get called on your shit, but it's good. The way that you do it is good. So,
I think the reason why you had so much success in all those areas was because we got to the root, which is what I was
mhm,
saying before, right? It's like it's the root that you of the pattern that you look at, because it's like there's a coaching expression, how you do one thing is how you do everything.
mhm,
And it's true, because you're running a pattern, and the pattern is,
right,
it's just that blind spot that you cannot see. And the way I look at this work is, we get a core wound when we're little, right? Something
mhm,
happens that creates some sort of filter that we put on, and then we spend our lives like with that filter on, and then we start to collect all of these experiences because we're no longer conscious, right? What happens in that process is you build your self-trust and you build your confidence. And so that's part of why you had the results that you had, is because it wasn't like, I mean, part of it is that goddess currency magic,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Where there's some manifesting or like, that feminine energy attracting happening in that space too. But also it was you going, wait a minute, I'm worthy. I trust myself
mhm,
now. I'm trusting my intuition. I'm learning how to use my voice. And even though it's terrifying for me to say these things and to hold that space for myself, I'm going to do it anyway, because I don't want to live the way I was living anymore. And I might have given you some tools or whatever it is in order for you to have those conversations or not. But whatever it was, you stepped into that, had the conversation, didn't explode into flames,
right,
realized that people then turned around and went, okay, yeah, whatever you want, whatever you
right,
want, sure. And then you're
right,
like, wait, what? I just
yeah,
got what I wanted, and like nobody died. Holy shit. And
yeah,
and then
yeah,
increases your confidence. So when you're confident, and it's the kind of confidence that it's unshakable. You're
mhm,
unshakable now. It's not to say that you don't have bad days. It's not to say that if something doesn't work out with one of these guys, like let's say you're dating after 6 months and something doesn't work out, that you won't be like, yeah, heartbroken is quite the word, right?
right.
So like, I don't know, it's like bruised or something, like whatever the new vernacular, whatever word we want to use for that going forward. I'm sure we'll think of one.
I know. We'll have to think of one.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not to say that you'll never have those experiences again. It's not like that again, that's gaslighting and bypassing. Of course you're
Yep.
gonna have like difficult experiences and things that we don't like, because that's life, that's experiences, right? But the
Right.
difference now is that your confidence and your worthiness is anchored, it's deep. It's a
Mhm.
part of who you are. It's not an act you're playing. It's not something that you're on shaky ground of anymore. And so you will be able to handle it in a new way with this more deeply anchored part of you. And then, if and when something happens, then you take the wisdom of that experience and you put it in, rather than taking that experience and making yet another freaking story about it. See, I knew it. All I do is I attract shitty guys.
Right.
Or see,
Right.
I knew it. I knew I wouldn't be able to make any more money. Or every time I make money, like something happens or whatever, right? Like those are our patterns, those are our stories. And when we heal that, it goes away,
Yeah.
right? Then we're left with what? Nothing. Like
Right.
just the experience. Oh, it's just a pen.
Right.
Cool.
Exactly. Exactly. Since I've been doing the work with you, I have gotten so many people just sending me random texts, or people that I've met who comment about my energy
Yeah.
and a lightness that comes from me. And
Yeah.
it makes me so happy. And I write it down every time somebody says it to me, because thank you and more, please.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, it happens more.
Yeah.
So I get to keep saying thank you, and
Yeah.
it happens more. And my energy, when that happens, I am reliant on myself, regardless of what anybody else says. But it's a nice little wink from the universe going, you go, sister,
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I can give a really good example, real quick, of how that looks. You do all this work, and then someone comes at you with just vileness, vile.
Yeah.
How dare you do this? And how dare you think you can do this? And you're a different person. I gave nothing. I gave zero energy.
Yeah.
That person, it's hard. It was hard. I had to sit in the dirt. I had to call one of my soul sisters and say, I'm not reacting.
Yeah.
Remind me why. And she's like, honey, you've done all this work. You've done all this work with your divine sex goddess work coach, like your
Yeah.
sexual energy coach. You've done all this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have. Right. But,
Yeah.
but sometimes it takes,
Yeah.
sitting in that dirt again to go, I'm not playing, I'm not doing this. And you're right. I am completely different. And that alone fueled me with such joy. You
Yeah.
are right. I am completely different than I have ever been.
Mhm. You're who you are.
Yeah.
Like this work is remembering who you are.
Yep.
It's not turning you into somebody you're not.
Right.
It's all about who are you? Who are you? What do you want? What do you think? What is your intuition? Like it's annoying. I get it. Like, you guys are like, Krisha, just give me the answer. And I'm like, nope, nope.
Mm-mm.
You have
Nope.
the answer.
Yeah. And that's
Just
the
tell
beauty of it.
me. And it's
That's
like,
the
nope.
beauty of it. No. And that's what I mean. There's sometimes and I say challenge, but I mean in the kindest way, not rude, but for me, the best example I think was when I was taught, we were talking about who my perfect person would be. And, and we should wrap up. Actually, you and I could just,
I know.
I could just hold your hand and talk for like the entire weekend. Yeah, I know. Like, just sit with me and hold my hand. I'm gonna make it really awkward because I'm not gonna want to let go.
I know.
But we were talking about like the finding the perfect soulmate, and and you said, "Tell me your list," and I'm like, "Oh, it's perfect." Like I even made a meditation about it, and all this, and I finished my list, and you go, "Do you realize what you left out?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, what did I leave out?" You go, "No, think about it. What did you leave out?"
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it, and I thought, "Son of a gun."
Yeah.
Like one of the most important things to me in a relationship is sexuality,
Yeah.
is the chemistry. I do believe that the communication you can bring to a relationship fuels the most fabulous, amazing sex, and that if fuels your ability to talk to each other, it fuels your ability to make financial decisions together, it feels whatever, wherever the relationship takes you, that fuels you. I had left sex out of the list.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I mean, having those little tiny moments where you don't even realize the words that matter to you most have you included in your language, because you're so far removed from yourself, you haven't fully stepped into who you are.
Yeah.
um that's, moments like that are just
Yeah.
opening, and so worth any dirt sitting that there is.
Right. Because like, yeah, because it wasn't just you left sex off the list and then, okay, let's add it to the list. It was like, wait, you left something really big off that list.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Yeah. Why'd
right?
you do
Like,
it?
that is, like, that's the thing. It's like, why? Let's
Why?
go there. And we did. And we
We
went there, we
did.
went deep, we went to the dirt, and then we figured it out. And then it was like, okay, then you got to the root of that. And then it was like, bam, healed,
Yeah.
done, move on.
Yeah.
If it was just like, oh, you forgot sex. Oh, yeah, sex.
No, no,
Like,
because
yeah,
then you,
why? Like, for me, like, that is like holy shadow, like, holy,
right,
that's a big
right. And it's a big miss. And here was I was like wanting to skip away, like, oh, I'll just add it to the list. And you're like, no, sister, you're holding my hand. We got to sit down.
yeah.
Why did you leave that off the list?
But you'll never forget it again.
Never again. And most importantly, establish the pattern that kept me from putting it on the list
In the first
and
place.
shattered that pattern.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I adore you. I do. I'm just like, I thank you for everything that you brought into my world. I'm excited to see how much you keep getting to impact other people's lives. Um, it's just the container you create of safety and healing is much needed and much to be celebrated. So thank you for how you show up in the world. I'm so glad that I get to have you as my friend.
Yeah.